So, here, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Zaraki Kenpachi and was neglected? Part 7, the end of this What If series. So, yeah. This will be the end. I should also mention subscribe to Anime Sensei, Iconic What Ifs, Obito What Ifs. Links will be in the description. But other than that, this will be the end of this What If. There will be a new What If called What If Naruto was adopted by the Yakuza, since I've been hyping up for like 3 What If. But of course, I'm still kind of thinking on how to do that a little bit. But I have a clue on how he will be adopted. But let me mention something else. I am also going to try to do What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Jack Sparrow? Not Sparrow. Sparrow. I will also do what's it called? Probably What If Naruto was from a special clan to finish that series off also. But other than that, let me continue on with this What If. So we kind of left off at when Naruto is now 17. We go into Naruto being 6'5". Naruto is 17, but he's 6'5". He is taller than everyone else. This is where, actually I messed up. That's not the true height of Kenpachi. I thought it was 6'5", but for a second I thought it was 6'6", but now it's actually, when I search it up, it's actually 6'7". So Naruto's actually 6'7". He's tall as fuck. He is a tall motherfucker. He's also pretty big and buff like Kenpachi is, but yeah. Of course, he is 17, while his daughter is, 15. This is where, Yoriichi, I think I mentioned, was 10, and he was 12 at that time. So, of course, she will be 15. This is where, she is right next to, Kenpachi. And she is the height of, being 5'5". And, of course, she's a little bit taller than some of her classmates, but yeah. Of course, this is where, Yoriichi, not 5'5", she's actually like 5'7" a little bit, but yeah. Of course, this is where, she is kind of next to her father, who she sees as Naruto Uzumaki, also known as Zaraki Kenpachi. This is where, Naruto is walking towards the Hokage office. Of course, when he gets to the office, he sees 3 people. Actually, a team of, Jonins. Now, these 3 people one is his brother named Enma Uzumaki, or also known as Enma the King of Hell. But of course, he is a Jonin rank Miss Ninja, a Jonin rank Miss Ninja from for like the Miss Village. Of course, what he wears is, he kind of has his hair to be kind of like blonde and purple at the same time, like more highlights of purple and all that. Well, his eyes are fully pure dark purple. Of course, his highlights are purple and all that. Well, mostly his hair changes from yellow to just fully purple after turning 17 and all that. Of course, he is the height of 6'1". And of course, he has Enma, the sword that he has, the purple sword, right on his side. Of course, what clothing that he wears is kind of like black and a little bit of purple. Like a purple shirt, like think of it like Jotaro. Purple shirt, but instead of being light purple, it's kind of a darker purple. His jacket is a coat jacket, something like that. It is black. He wears black pants and black sandals, but yeah. This is where he also kind of wears kind of shades, but that's just because he kind of like his style. This is where, next to him is, his girlfriend, Esther. So yeah, they started dating after they kind of turned 16 to 17. So of course it's been a year, so yeah. Of course, this is where Esther is also a Jonin sensei. She wears she has long light blue hair, very light blue eyes, and this is where, she has her sword on her back, her kind of icy sword. And of course, she wears a kind of like white outfit mostly. Mostly it's a kimono, mostly. Yeah, a white kimono. Or not kimono, a white coat. A white, kind of black and white pants white sandals a little bit. Well, not white sandals, kind of bluish sandals, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, she does have some glasses on her that are similar to Memo's, but Memo's are kind of just dark shade glasses, while hers is kind of blue. This is where, well, next to her is, well, their friend, what's it called, Shino, who's also a Jonin sensei. Well, not Jonin sensei, but a Jonin rank ninja. Of course, this is where Shino has dark glasses. He has a longer coat from, instead of being in his original canon, just a little bit longer. He has a, what's it called? Dark pants, dark sandals, and what's it called? His coat is kind of a dark blue. So yeah, because he's in the Mist Village. So yeah, it's not green. And this is where, well, he also has a kind of like somewhat of a backpack. It looks like a backpack, but really like a gourd filled with his kind of rare bugs that he has from the Mist Village. But yeah, that he managed to get. He still has his own bugs that he kind of got when he was born into the Aburame and all that. And of course, they're inside him and stuff. But yeah. But of course, where, well, he has, what's it called, his still dark shaped glasses. And of course, he is just there kind of waiting for Kenpachi to come in. This is where, well, Zaraki Kenpachi and Yoroichi Kenpachi walks in. And this is where, well, Mei says, hello there, Kenpachi. This is where Naruto says, hey, Mei. This is where, well, Mei says, and hello, what's it called, Yoriichi. This is where Yoriichi says, hello, Mei, Mei auntie. This is where Mei says, oh, you're truly adorable. This is where she starts hugging, what's it called, Yoriichi. And this is where, well, no one said anything. But of course, Naruto says, this is where Mei says, oh, I'm sorry. So why I called you here, Naruto, is because of the Akatsu's. The Akatsu's are seeming to move out. And since your brother is a Jinchuriki, and, well, the Kazekage that we're in alliance with is also a Jinchuriki, it's assuming that they're probably going to go after the One Tails. 1 through, well, 9. This is where Naruto nodded. So, there's a good chance that the Akatsu might go after Gaara after not being seen for 5 years. We don't know much information and where they're actually at, but we're really worried exactly. You see here, none of the Jinchuriki from different villages are truly taken. They are still in their own villages. The One Tails is still in the Sand Village, being the Kazekage. The Two Tails and, well, Eight Tails is in Kumo, being kind of protected. I guess probably the Two Tails and Eight Tails must be protected. But I know the Eight Tails is severely protected by his brother, named Raikage. Well, named A, the Raikage, the fourth Raikage, but yeah. The, well, Three Tails, of course, is here in the Mist Village, kind of swimming around. I will kind of ignore the Three Tails because, well, truly we don't need him as a weapon and we don't really care about bothering him much. And, well, the Four Tails, well, the 4 and 5 Tails are in, well, the, Stone Village. And truly they haven't been captured from any information that we got over there at Stone. And, well, the 6 Tails, of course, is here in the Mist Village, kind of talking to someone. I don't know where he's at exactly, but I know he's not a shinobi much. And, well, the 7 Tails is in, well, the waterfall with the alliance with Sound Village. So somewhere around there. I have heard information that they don't treat their Jinchuriki that well, which is a girl. And, not gonna lie, I'm kind of annoyed that they kind of treat their Jinchuriki terrible. But we can't do anything. This is where Naruto says, I can always just cut through them and murder their whole, well, village. This is where Mei says, that might be after the fact that, well, after we destroy the Akatsu's. Or maybe now. To kind of blame it on the Akatsu's. Naruto says, I kind of say now. This is where, well, Enma says, probably same. This is where Shino says, wait, what is the 7-Tails Jinchuriki about? The 7-Tails Jinchuriki is a kind of bug user. This is where, well, she says that the 7-Tails Jinchuriki is a bug user. It's somewhat like her tell bees is somewhat like a bug. Shino said, we gotta save her. This is where May knew that Shino might be interested in the fact that there's actually a bug in Jerky. This is where Emma says, wait, what? And you said this girl was a girl. This is where May nodded. Shino, what the hell is what are you thinking? This is where Shino says, we gotta save her. She's a bug. I'm interested in bugs. I want to know what type of bug she has for Jerky. This is where Emma says, sure, I'll believe that when I actually see you talking to her about bugs. This is where Shino says, well, how else are we going to talk to her if we don't save her? This is where, well, Enma says, yeah, facts, fine. And Seth says, yeah, we can save her. And this is where, well, and yes, the 8 Tails is, of course, in the Kumo village, but of course, we have the 9 Tails, and that is your brother Enma, who can already protect himself from any S-rank ninjas. By himself, or of course his lovely girlfriend Estef. This is where, well, Emma and Estef are still blushing, very kind of fearless, because they still kind of not want to open that out, saying that they're kind of dating. But of course, they kind of have it privately. They try to have it privately, but of course, this is where, well, Yoriichi kind of came out of nowhere and said, so you're two are dating! One time in a flashback. This is where, well, Emma and Estef are kind of flustered. So, of course, Emma was flustered into, like, having purple. And, of course, Estef's face was kind of blue. But, yeah. This is where, well, May was smiling deviously. And this is where, well, May says, but, yeah. So, do you want to go after the Akatsu's or go after this village? Naruto says, how many people are in this village? This is where May says, you're going solo, aren't you? Naruto says, what? No, that's not the problem here. This is where May sighs and says, no, Naruto, you cannot just go by yourself. This is where Emma says, yeah, you gotta be taking me along. This is where Esther says, yeah, me too. And Shino says, yeah, me three. This is where Naruto sighs and says, can I take them along? This is where May says, fine. Now I should mention what rank Naruto is. He is not Jonin rank like you would expect. He was Jonin rank when he was 12. But the rank that he has is called Shinigami. Well, not Shinigami, Soul Reaper, or Shinigami to be specific. But yeah. So of course he's a captain. He's a Shinigami captain, that's what he is. He has actually a squad underneath him that was actually contains of, well, one of the 7 swordsmen, well, not even one of the 7 swordsmen, a man that's bald, and another dude that thinks everything must look beautiful like him. So yeah, of course Naruto does get reminded of those 2 idiots that he had in his previous life, but of course this is where Naruto, he doesn't care, he just smiles. So of course this is where Naruto says, I might be also taking my squad with me. I might be taking bald dude and guy that always thinks everything must be beautiful. This is where Yoriichi kind of laughs and says, bald dude. This is where, well, Yoriichi says, can I go also? This is where Naruto says, yeah, Yoriichi, you can go. This is where May says, no, she must stay here. She must not get hurt. This is where Yoriichi says, Dad, what about me? This is where she's crying. This is where Naruto says, don't worry, my daughter, you can go. Just ignore May for a second. This is where Yoriichi says, really? This is where May goes, but I'm the Kage here. And Naruto says, but who's truly the strongest here? This is where May says, whatever. Just protect Yoriichi with everything you have. This is where I don't want her to get hurt. Don't worry, I'm also going to be taking Junko and Hawking with me. This is where May says, oh, your 2, what's it called, wives in the future? This is where Naruto, he doesn't fluster up because, first of all, he was thinking of that, but this is where, well, he thought of it, and then he thought of Zabuza trying to kill him with a sword, and then kind of making a whole battle situation with him having his own sword fighting against Zabuza. So, of course, this is where Naruto kind of chuckles in his mind, and this is where Naruto says, what do you mean? What are you talking about, May? You must be crazy. This is where, well, Yoriichi says, wait, you mean, what's it called, Junko-kun, and what's it called, Hakin-kun? What's it called, well, she says, wait, Mom 1 and Mom 2? This is where Naruto says, yeah, Mom 1 and Mom 2, sure, you can call them that. This is where Yoriichi says, yay! This is where, well, Naruto smiles. He has this kind of, like, sharp grin, but yeah. This is where, well, May says, fine. I will allow you all to go towards that village. So you do know where it is, right? Naruto says, it's kind of near the fire country, so yeah, I know where it is. May says, you don't need any other more Miss Ninjas to help you out, right? Naruto says, of course not. We will be there for only a couple of days. This is where May says, fine, just be careful. This is where Zabuza come out of nowhere and says, you better protect my daughter. This is where Naruto says, of course I'll protect her. If I don't protect her, then you can try to kill me, but you know damn well that I'm probably gonna easily stomp you like a bug. This is where Zabuza glares at Naruto. The fact that Zabuza hates the fact that Naruto's taller than him. Just taller than him. This is where Zabuza's pissed. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into a time skip of about 4 days. They get towards, not 4 days, like about 2 days towards the kind of waterfall village and near the sound village. And of course the waterfall village and the sound village did become one as a unit. But of course it still kind of divide into one side, well, one what they call Kage being the waterfall Kage and one person being the sound Kage. And of course having their own daimyos. Where one daimyo in Pacific that is fire daimyo. The fire daimyo has to support these two villages because he can't go to any other village. And he hates the fact that someone destroyed, well, a bunch of like villages destroyed fully fire country. And of course he lost a lot of money with that. But of course he's supporting these two villages that are trying to get more money and to help the daimyo so the daimyo can keep helping them. This is where, well, Naruto, he says, hey, what's it called? Enma, Estef, you mind taking out the daimyo for us? This is where Enma says, really? I have to be taking out some weakling? God damn it, fine. This is where Estef says, sure. Well, not Enma or Estef, it was mostly Junko and Hakin and also Yurichi. Yurichi came along because she knew that her father was going to be very, very destructive and just destructive in a village if he was just left all alone. That's where Naruto tells his, well, two kind of lieutenants and his squad to go with Enma, Estef, and even Shino to the Sound Village, while he goes to the Waterfall Village and explodes there. The squad and even the lieutenants knows about Naruto's raw just power that's sealed away in an eye patch. And of course Naruto says, all of you go then. This is where they all nodded and of course went with Emma's team. Emma gets to the Sound Village and of course Emma just sees so many people kind of relaxing somewhat. This is where, well, Shino has already sent his bugs. And these specific bugs are actually very specific because he kind of opened his backpack. Well, doesn't open the backpack. He kind of opened the seal from his backpack to let out some bugs that are actually very fast. Dragonflies. These dragonflies just like to fly really fast around Sound Village to find where, well, the Seven Tails might be at. This is where, well, Emma was surprised that Shino would kind of use those right off the bat. Even though the dragonflies are very fast and can like fly very fast and all that, it's still surprising that, well, Shino will use them right off the bat because they are actually, what's it called? Also, if you hear that like room in the background, that was just a car speeding up. God damn it! But the dragonflies are specifically very fast and stealthy, but at the same time, they can also be, well, they are actually like a somewhat legendary type of bug. But of course, they can also kind of use water style. They are actually a specific bug to kind of use water style because they are found in the mist. The water, not waterfall, the water country. This is where, well, Shino kind of started using them, and of course, the bugs are looking around. Of course, cannot find the seven-tailed Zaraki here. This is where says it seems that she's not here. This is where, well, Enma says, okay. Wait, where are you going, Shino? I might be going towards the Waterfall Village. This is where Enma says, okay, calm down. You need to really calm down. Just because she's a person, well, a girl that can actually use bugs, just like you, doesn't mean you gotta, like, go save her. Prince Shino. in white and shiny armor. Shino kind of like said, "Fine, I'll help you." That's why Emma says good, because Naruto might go overboard, but there's a good chance that he might know what the seven-tailed Jinchuriki looks like. He's not dumb. This is where Shino sighs and say, "Fine, let's go." This is where, well, Emma says, "So there's no one here, right? The seven-tails or anything, so I can go overboard, right?" This is where Shino nodded. And this is where, well, Emma nodded back. And this is where Emma opened his sword, kind of revealed his sword out. And this is where he adds, like, fire into it, or mostly his power into it. And it turns into this, like, very dark purple. This is where he swung his blade 3 times in the air. And this is where 3 slashes appear. 3 fiery, burning slashes. Slashes appear, slashing through what's called buildings, burning them and cutting them in half. This is where, well, people are screaming, wondering what's happening, and they realize they might be being attacked by a village. Even though they have the seven-tailed Jinchuriki, they don't have it in their village. They have it in, well, the Waterfall village. This is where it's a bad month, because the seven-tailed Jinchuriki is kind of passed around to go into Sound Village or Waterfall Village according of the month. This is where, well, what's it called? The Mist team doesn't know about that. But we go into Naruto. Naruto is looking around to find where the Waterfall Village is at. This is where he does punch so many waterfall sites to kind of find where the entrance is at. This is where he punches one of the waterfalls and realizes that this is an entrance. Even though it has seals, Naruto just breaks through it. This is where Naruto says, "It seems it's here." This is where he kind of just walked in. Of course, ninjas appearing, but Naruto cuts them all down and gives him no mercy. And this is where Naruto's smiling, saying, "I guess it's here." He's running through. He kind of goes through a tunnel, gets into, well, the waterfall. And Naruto says, "It seems that I am here." He grabs his, well, sword with 2 hands. And this is where he kind of puts it back and swings it forward. This is where he says, he breathes in and out and says, "Right then." He swings his sword forward, and right now a huge blast of, not a huge blast, a huge slash through what's it called? Since the Waterfall Village is inside a waterfall, it gets cut in half. Well, the ground gets cut. The waterfall also gets cut. Everything kind of gets cut in one single slash. This is where multiple people widen their eyes. Some ninjas that were standing and, well, in front of that, well, kind of slash gets just cut in half in an instant. They didn't even know what happened. This is where, well, the slash goes all the way towards the, Kage Tower, the Waterfall Kage. This is where, well, the Kage Tower, the Kage, he is just minding his own business until his tower gets cut in half. Now, of course, the Waterfall Kage, he didn't get cut exactly. He get cut his arm off and his leg. This is where he screams, being all in pain. This is where so many people are confused. This is where Naruto says, "It's time for my killing time." This is where Naruto, he walks through the whole Waterfall Village, killing, slicing, murdering, slaughtering, killing again. He doesn't kill the children because the children are doing nothing. But Naruto is just killing people left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. Yeah, he's just killing anyone. So, of course, he's killing Jonins, Chunins, Genins of the Waterfall Village. This is where Naruto's walking around. And, of course, is where one person tries to attack him, and what he does is dodge, well, it doesn't dodge the person, let the person slash him, and this is where he says, "Pathetic," cuts his head off. This is where another one tries to go after him and tries to cut him, but this is where he grabs him from the arm, where he has to play, and just swings ass towards another person, smashing them together. This is where Naruto is easily killing left, right, down, up, down, right, left. Yeah, he's killing every person. This is where the Jinchuriki is called in, and the Jinchuriki, well, Fu managed to get towards where Kenpachi's at, and this is where she says, "Stop. I will not let you kill this village." This is where Naruto, he sees a collar on Fu, like this metal collar, and Fu seems to be extremely tired. This is where, well, Naruto says, you look like to be sleep deprived. This is where Fu says, you're an enemy, I must eliminate you. This is where Naruto dodges her, and what he does is grab the collar, put spiritual pressure, because, well, not spiritual pressure, put spiritual energy into the collar, and just rips it off of her by kind of also putting his other hand in the other side and just ripping it off of her. That's where Fu was shocked until Naruto knocked her out by hitting her, karate chopping her in the back, and kind of just picking her up because she is smaller than him. And of course, where, well, Naruto, he started just carrying her, and this is where multiple people started going after him and saying, "Die, you demon! You and that demon bitch can." This is where Naruto says, "Spiritual slash." This is where his sword becomes this energy. It has this yellow energy, and he just swings it horizontal, and around him, like a 360 around him. This is where he cuts everything in half, killing every person that was kind of on the ground and charging towards Naruto. This is where, well, Naruto says pathetic. This is where Naruto keeps walking. He gets to the Kage Tower, and of course the waterfall Kage is kind of right now bleeding. This is where his two Jonins are trying to protect him and saying, "What do you want, demon?" This is where Naruto says, "Oh, you can call me a demon, whatever you like to call me, but my name is Zaraki Kenpachi. Listen up well. You treating Jinchuriki like this is a crime against me. You're deaf. You're Soul Reaper. Whatever you like to call me. You can call me the Shinigami himself." This is where, well, the two Jonin says, "We're not gonna call you any." This is where one gets his head cut off, while the other one gets his kind of, well, heart ripped off of him. This is where he crushes his heart in his hand, what Naruto does. This is where Naruto, he walks towards the waterfall Kage and says, "This is your end," and cuts this man's head so clean off that he just kind of puts his sword back into his sheath and walks away. This is where, well, the waterfall Kage takes about 1 minute to recognize what happened, and this is where his head gets, well, falls off his like neck, and of course this is where head kind of starts rolling, and this is where his kind of like neck starts gashing with blood more. There's still a lot of blood, so yeah. This is where Naruto, he gets towards, well, the Sound Village. We're trying to find the Sound Village until he hears explosions left, well, kind of not left, yeah, left to him, and this is where he kind of rushes towards where it's happening. This is where, well, he hears, what's it called, an explosion happen near the fire daimyo. This is where when he hears it, he sees, well, Yoruichi kind of hurt, and Junko and Haki saying, "Yoruichi, are you okay?" This is where a person was right in front of her. These two people were right in front of her. Mostly they were there to kind of take out the fire daimyo because they know the fire daimyo isn't protected by any village. Well, kind of powerful enough. And these two are actually Akatsuki members. This is where Yoruichi got cut, kind of a lot, well, a slash mark. And this is where Yoruichi is kind of like bleeding. This is where Naruto sees it. And this is where, well, Hiran is laughing because he's the one to do it. And this is where, well, what's it called? Kakuzu has a briefcase. But of course, this is where, well, they're only there to kind of get the money of the fire daimyo if he was willing to let it off or just kill him. But of course, they were there to kind of just take the money. But of course, when they saw that the fire daimyo was already killed by a girl with pink hair and blue eyes, and a girl with blonde hair and dull blue eyes, and another girl with kind of black hair and kind of black eyes, just killing them. Well, not black hair, mostly. No, not black eyes. Kind of like lightish crystallized bluish hair, and of course her eyes were kind of like a dojo of a snowflake. This is where, well, seeing that they killed the fire daimyo, they went to go take the money, which they did. But of course, when they were leaving, Hiran decides to attack the pink-haired girl. This is where Yoruichi wasn't fast enough and got a slash mark. And of course, the explosion was, well, kind of Hawking throwing a kind of kunai with an explosion tag. This is where this kunai had ice, and of course was made out of ice. And when the kunai hits, well, Hiran exploded, but didn't do anything to him. This is where Hiran was laughing, and this is where Hiran was doing a ceiling array of like a circle with an upside down triangle, and of course licking the blood and saying, "Now you're gonna die, pink hair. You're gonna die. No one will ever save you." This is where Yoruichi is confused, and this is where Hidan stabs himself into the leg. This is where Yoruichi screams out, saying, "Ah, Dad!" This is where Naruto sees this scene, and he just becomes outraged, hurting Yoruichi like that. This is where Naruto lets go of food, like puts her down to the ground, not softly at all, just throws her down there. This is where Naruto, his face feature becomes an outrage. This is where, well, he takes off his eye patch in an instant, and this aura, this just power just erupts from him. This is where Kakuzu and Hidan feels his power. This is where Hidan is actually being pushed down. This is where Kakuzu is also being pushed down. This is where they say, "What is that?" They look up and they see Kenpachi Zaraki. Now, I should mention one thing. Kenpachi Zaraki, he might be he's called a Soul Reaper Captain, like 13 in the Mist Village, but he is ranked 3 S's because how dangerous he is. He's the one to defeat Orochimaru, Minotaur Namikaze, a bunch of people in the village of the Leaf Village, soloing them all. And this is where Kakuzu and Hidan widen their eyes. Why is he here? This is where Naruto says, "You bastards touched my daughter." This is where, well, Kakuzu heard that, and he's like, "Ah, shit." He looks at Hidan and says, "You dumbass, we could have left early." Hidan says, "Who cares? He won't be able to kill us. But this power of pressure is annoying. I can't kind of stab myself to kill that pink-haired bitch." This is where Naruto says. He grabs his sword out of his sheath, and this is where he says, "Bankai." This is where his sword exploded in power. This is where, well, it said that his Bankai is unknown name. But wait, I think so. So his Zanpakuto is called Nozarashi, but the Bankai is kind of unknown. It says nameless. So, of course, or not knowing name. But, of course, he says Bankai, and he says just some random name, okay? I'm not going to try to think of it. Of course, where, well, his sword becomes this giant blade. Of course, where, well, his face features and everything decide to become red like a demon. He started becoming more of a demon. So, like that. So where, well, Naruto's skin becomes dark red, and his, like, what's it called? Zanpakuto becomes this, like, weird looking blade. I don't know what it's actually kind of resemble. It kind of looks like a, one of those, what's it called? It looks like a, what is that weapon? A butcher's, like, knife? But, I don't know. It kind of looks like that. I don't know if it is or not, but yeah. But of course, Naruto's skin becomes red, and he looks like he's in a berserk state. He rushes. He, like, breaks the ground. He cracks it and rushes towards Kakuzu and Hidan with blinding speed. That's where Hidan, he decides to, well, like, it seems like special pressure was let go of him. But this is where, well, he then realized that he can stab himself in the heart. And this is where he tries to threaten Naruto. But this is where Naruto grabs his face and takes him out of the circle. And this is where the curse thing was actually broken. This is where Hidan widened his eyes. He never thought that Naruto was just going to grab his face and throw him out of there. This is where Naruto still was not in that much berserk, but he was still pissed. He was in somewhat semi-berserk. He can still, well, not, like, be fully berserk yet. He doesn't lose his mind yet. But this is where, well, he doesn't see Yoruichi in such a bad condition. Well, it is a bad condition in his eyes. So, of course, he's somewhat semi-berserk until his fully berserk side started coming out. So, of course, he fully went berserk after kind of throwing Hidan out of that circle. This is where, well, he roars in anger, rushes towards Kakuzu. Kakuzu turns his arm into steel and punches Naruto. But instead of, like, doing a damage dent or anything towards Naruto, his shit broke. His arm broke in an instant when they collided with Naruto's, like, chest. This is where Kakuzu wanted to fucking scream. That pain, nah. He's not even a Jinchurikin. This guy's already strong. Kakuzu's thinking in his head real fast. This is where Kakuzu decides to duck down. But when he ducked down after Naruto swinging with his blade, Naruto kicked him up by kneeling him in the face. This is where Kakuzu was sent towards Hidan. Hidan got up and said, ugh, what a fucking bastard. I'm going to send you towards the Lord. He gets hit in the face with Kakuzu into more trees. Naruto starts rushing towards him. This is where Kakuzu says, Hidan, whatever special fucking ability you got from your god, fucking help us. For the love of fucking Joshin, fucking help us. This guy's strong as hell. I don't know what the hell you want me to do. S3S rank my ass. He should be at least 10 S's. This is where Hidan says, don't worry about it, Kakuzu. We're not gonna die easy. This is where Hidan's head flies off so fast that Kakuzu widened his eyes. This is where Hidan widened his eyes. He did not even see this person. Of course, his body also gets shredded into a million pieces by the explosive power after getting his head cut off. This is where his head also flew up into like somewhere into water. So of course, Hidan's head is not going to be found because robots are also falling on him and like trees and all that. Also, his body flew somewhere else, but yeah. This is where Kakuzu widened his eyes. This is where Kakuzu put both like steel chakra into his arms, trying to block Naruto's punch. This is where his punch just breaks through the steel, just like bends the steel chakra. This is where Kakuzu coughed up blood because with that happening, he never thought he was gonna feel pain because he knows that he's immortal and all that because of the forbidden technique of having 5 hearts instead of 1 because of how he kind of kills people to kind of get their hearts and kind of like use the element from them. But yeah, this is where he then summoned them all out to kind of fight against Naruto. This is where all 5 hearts, well only 4 because he needs 1 of them to kind of live. But yeah, of course this is where he started kind of like changing his body, kind of ripping off the cloak off of him to kind of make his body into like strings and all that. Like the little, stitches to become showing string and all that. And this is where he's like, I'm not gonna die like this. This is where he sends both lightning and wind to send a powerful, lightning and wind. He sends lightning and water, mass to send a very powerful gust of water, but also lightning covering in, hitting Naruto. But Naruto wasn't affected. He was walking forward like it was not affecting him. He started running straight towards Kakuzu. This is where Naruto punches the ground where Kakuzu was at. The ground shatters into nothing. The earth was kind of rumbling. This is where people were confused, but they thought it was an earthquake. So of course people was trying to duck because they didn't want to feel the earthquake and other. And this is where Naruto, he goes straight to Kakuzu. This is where Naruto, he sees the mask. Of course, mostly the mask, and since he's in berserk mode and does not understand foe from enemy or anything, he kind of sees the mask as mostly like people. So of course he rushes toward the mask and punches one in the face, one of the mask in the face, shattering it. This is where Kakuzu widened his eyes. Did Naruto already figure it out? This is bad. He's thinking in his mind, Hidan is out of the count. He doesn't know where Hidan's body or head went. But right now, he needs to survive. He needs to get out of here. The only person that he thinks that might go against Naruto is his, leader. And that is Pain-sama. He doesn't know if he can go against him, but he needs to get out of here. If he doesn't, he's going to die. He's trying to think of something. But that mask that Naruto broke was the lightning one. Or did I say water one? We want lightning one. This is where he then says, fire wind. This is where the fire and wind mask sends a very powerful wind gust and then fire into the wind, making it a very powerful fire like blast. This is where Naruto gets hit, but his clothes was mostly being burnt off. And Kakuzu can see that his skin is fully red. This is where Naruto, he rushes towards the mask. This is where he pulls his blade up and slashes the mask. He slashes them like towards their head. Their kind of mask will be level at. And the head near the kind of mask and head and all that, or mostly their bodies, kind of exploded, but also the mask broke into an instant. This is where the only mask that Kakuzu has is the earth one and the water one. The water one being out and the earth one that he has right now in his heart. This is where he's kind of scared. The reason why he's able to put iron and steel into his hands and all that is because of the earth. But right now he's kind of terrified of Naruto. Naruto rushes towards Kakuzu with blinding speed. And this is where Naruto swing his blade down. This is where the mask, water mask, tried to tried to make a water domain. But of course, the water domain to try to protect Kakuzu, and it just gets ripped through, just slashed through. This is where Kakuzu almost got his, kind of body cut in half in vertical. This is where, only his arm was cut off. This is where he tried to put strings on it, but this is where Naruto appears, grabbing him from the neck. This is where Kakuzu is trying to fight at Naruto, punching him, trying to just send, kind of transforming his, arms into steel, but into spikes, and trying to stab Naruto, but his skin seems to be tougher than steel itself. This is where Kakuzu tries to stab him with kunais and shuriken, throw paper kunais, not paper kunais, paper explosion seals, because he did have that, into Naruto's face to explode him, but nothing was working. He was mostly getting damaged more. This is where Naruto says, "You will die." This is where Naruto, he swings his, he puts his axe behind him, or not axe, his blade behind him, and swings at Kakuzu, cutting him in vertical, but near his heart. Even though Naruto doesn't know where the heart will be at because he's in this berserk state, he cuts it. And of course, Kakuzu widens his eyes. He no longer has his fit heart. And this is where his body exploded with, not power, mostly with force. So where, Kakuzu is dead. Hidan is unknown and where he's at. But this is where Naruto, he walks away. This is where Naruto kind of is still in this berserk state until he hears a voice. This is where this voice says, Dad, are you okay? This is where Naruto turns around in this kind of demonic form, berserk state. This is where his Bankai is still up. This is where, Yoruichi is kind of not scared. This is where Junko and Haken telling Yoruichi not to kill. Of course, where, Haken does have, what's called Fu. And this is where Fu is confused. She is kind of confused. But this is where, she sees that kind of person that's all red. And she gets kind of scared. This is where, Naruto was about to swing his blade towards Yoruichi until he stopped himself. This is where he started transforming back into normal. His red skin decides to transform back into his normal kind of tannish skin. And this is where his eyes being orange going into yellow, or not yellow, green. And this is where, Naruto's hair is still black and all that. And of course, this is where, it's fully black, not just kind of highlight of yellow and all that. It's just fully black. This is where his sword, his Bankai, he decides to transform it back into his normal Shinkai? Is that the right word? I'm thinking, probably. But of course, the where Yoruichi kind of goes up to Kenpachi and hugs him. Or, hugs her father. Or the father figure that she kind of sees. This is where Naruto says, Yoruichi, are you okay? Yoruichi says, yeah, I'm fine. Thanks to big sis, what's it called? Not big sis. Thanks to, what's it called? Mom Haken and Mom Junko, they helped me out. This is where Naruto's smiling, saying, I'm so happy that you're okay. This is where, Yoruichi says, yeah, I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me. I'm perfectly fine. I'm Yoruichi Kenpachi. I will always be fine. Yeah. This is where Naruto chuckles. But yeah. Of course, all around Naruto is nothing but this just destructive battle. This just battle that he destroys 2 S-rank ninjas in just this berserk state. This is where, Junko, Haki, and even Fu gets there. Fu is kind of walking. She's not flying away from them because, she is happy that she's free from Waterfall Country. Of course, seeing the outside and not being caged up and locked up in some prison, but yeah. And of course, this is where, well, Fu does kind of bow down her head and says, thank you for saving me. And Naruto says, it's fine. This is where Yorichi says, who are you anyway? This is where Fu says, my name is Fu. I am the seven tails of the Jinchuriki. This is where Yorichi says, oh, we're just here to look for you and kind of save you. Fu says, save me? But why? This is where Yorichi says, because Bug Guy was the one to suggest to help you. This is where Naruto chuckles, thinking Shino was the one to kind of say this because Shino was very kind of wanting to help Fu. This is where, well, Fu was saying, Bug Guy? This is where, well, right now, multiple people are running towards Naruto's location. And this is where the first person that jumped out of some trees was a person with purple hair, dark purple eyes, having glasses, and of course just wearing kind of like a black jacket, purple shirt, and all that, and kind of just goes up to his brother and hugs him and says, dude, are you okay? This is where Naruto says, hey, Enma. Enma says, what the hell happened here? Naruto says, I went against two Akatsuki members. And you won, didn't you? Yup. I whooped their ass. This is where Enma says, that's good to know. This is where, well, Estef, Shino, and what's called the lieutenant, and also, well, the squad came back. This is where Naruto says, what about on your side? This is where, well, Enma says, I was just burning and cutting everyone down, sending them straight to the underworld. Naruto smiles and says, good to know. This is where Estef says, and I just froze him. Shino says, so did you get the 7-tail Jinchuriki? This is where Naruto says, dude, you really do need a girlfriend, and the 7-tails might be the perfect person for you. This is where Shino says, I'm just asking for the 7-tails, what kind of bug it is. This is where, well, Fu kind of says, wait, are you interested in bugs? Shino says, yeah, that's what I've been telling everyone, but no one believes me. This is where Fu says, cool. So what kind of bugs do you like? Or what kind of bugs do you use in battle or anything like that? This is where Shino explains that he kind of used like dragonflies, bugs that drains chakra, and another type that's actually good to kind of climb up walls and all that. This is where, well, Fu and Shino start talking more. This is where Naruto says, at least we found someone for him. Well, mostly Enma said, and Estef kind of said in their head, but yeah. And so Yorichi saying, so, Dad, are we going back to Mist Country? Yeah, we are. This is where, well, Yorichi says, yay, I want to go home. I want to get candy. This is where, well, Naruto sighs and says, yeah. This is where they get back to the Mist Village, and it only took them one day to kind of eliminate all this, or kind of like 23 hours, so yeah. But of course, they get back to Mist Country, well, yeah, Waterfall Country, not Waterfall Country, Water Country. And of course, May did ask what happened, and of course, Naruto explains that he killed two Akatsuki members that were supposed to be, I guess, immortal. This is where, well, May then asked, what did they look like? One had silver hair while the other one had black, well, not black hair. I couldn't tell what kind of hair he had, but of course he had these kind of like green with red eyes. This is where May says, you might have went against, what's supposed to be caught in the Akatsuki is the immortal brothers, the undead brothers, or something like that. I don't know what they're called, but they're undead. And of course, it seems like you one-shot them all. Well, that's good to know that we don't need to worry about those Akatsuki members. Naruto nodded, and this is where, well, they, May says, well, we're going to, you guys can go relax and all that, but yeah. This is where May did get a phone call from, well, Sam Village from Tamari, the fact that her brother was captured by some Akatsuki members, and this is where May says, are you all still tired? This is where some of them say, no, not really. Good. Naruto. Well, not Naruto. Kenpachi, Zaraki, there's a car. Enma, Fu, and, well, Shino, you will be going on a team to go, rescue, what's it called? Well, not first Hokage, the Kazukage from the Sam Village. This is where, well, they are on an audit. This is where, as I said, what about, can I go? Or this is where, well, May says, are you tired or not? No, I'm not. This is where she says, then fine, go. This is where they start kind of running and leaving. And this is where Naruto, he started kind of just running towards the sand village really fast. Yorichi was left in the mist village. But of course, she got candy and all that from Junko and Hawking buying her. But yeah. This is where May says, oh, so what happened to you, Yorichi? I kind of got hurt on the mission. But it's fine. I'm still a big girl and I can definitely handle myself. This is where May says, luckily your father did crush those people. If it wasn't for your father, I would have killed them and tortured them and then burned them alive. This is where, well, Junko and Hawking were thinking the same, but this is where they see much creepier smile from May, but yeah. This is where, well, Zabuza is there. He like walked in and saw that creepy smile. He walked out. He just left. He said, nah, I'm good. But yeah. This is where, well, Naruto, he is kind of like going towards, well, the, what's it called? Going towards the sand village. And of course, this is where Naruto's running, and he is running really fast. This is where no one can keep up with him because he's running out body flickering mostly. Or not body flickering. He's kind of using flash step, but yeah. This is where Enma does summon Kurama out because he finally got to that stage of using the 4 Nine-Tails. And summon out Kurama because he has a summon contract with him. And summon out a 5 Tails. And this 5 Tails is big enough to kind of carry his whole entire team. This is where Shino was actually kind of carried by Fu. Because Fu can actually kind of grab Shino. Where the fact that she can fly. But yeah. This is where Enma says, come on, SF. This is where SF gets on the fox. The fox, it is a dark kind of purple with 5 tails. But yeah. Because Enma's power kind of changes some of the fox summoning animals that he kind of summoned out. But yeah. This is where the fox kind of runs really fast. Kind of leaving a trail of purple flame footprints. So of course, this is where, well, Naruto gets to the sand village. Second was Fu's, Fu kind of carrying Shino. And of course, third was, well, Enma's, fox. But yeah. Of course, when they get towards the sand village, this is where Tamari tells them that Conqueror was hurt. And this is where she needs a medical team. Medical ninja. This is where Fu decides to help because she can actually use her bugs. Well, some bugs that she kind of has to kind of always heal her just in case she was ever poisoned or anything. And of course, she kind of uses the bugs to kind of heal Conqueror. Conqueror explains that where, well, the Akatsuki's were taking Gaara. This is where they get towards it. Of course, Naruto flashed up all the way towards, well, the cave. And Naruto just kicks it down. This is where both, Sasori and Deidara widen their eyes and realize that this is, well, Zaraki Kenpachi, and the Akatsuki widen their eyes. Why is there a 3S ranked ninja here? Like 3 S's. This is where Naruto rushes towards Sasori and Deidara. This is where Deidara jumped away, but Sasori got his whole body cut in half. He was in the puppet, but of course he wasn't fast enough to get out of the puppet. So of course his whole body was obliterated. This is where Naruto says, oh, why you keep running away? Come here and let me fight you. This is where right now he's slashing at Deidara's, well, what's called explosion clay puppets or whatever. Not clay puppets, mostly clay. And Naruto's just cutting them down. They do explode right in front of him, but Naruto's right now rushing towards Hiram, grabbing him from the neck. And of course the Akatsuki are still watching this, widen their eyes. And Naruto says, goodbye, loser, crack his neck. This is where, well, Toby was also watching this. And he was right now in just anger. Not the reason because he hasn't been on Deidara's team just yet. He was just angry because 2 Akatsuki were kind of reported that they're already dead. And now that what's it called, Deidara and Sasori are dead, he is furious. He's not going to be able to capture any of the Bijus if Naruto's still alive. If Zaraki Kenpachi is still out there. This is where Obito is furious. This is where Naruto sees from his corner is, well, Black and White Zetsu. And he rushes with blinding speed, grabbing Black and White Zetsu and ripping him in half. This is where, well, Naruto sees Black and White. This is where he kind of just obliterates White by just punching him in the face. And of course, having Black in one arm. This is where Naruto pulls out his, has his blade still out. Well, kind of, mostly having it in his teeth. Grabbing it from his mouth. And then slashing Black Zetsu, killing him in an instant. Just obliterating his body. Putting in what's called Ryotsu. Not Ryotsu, what's it called? Yeah. Ryotsu is spiritual pressure, right? Like spiritual energy. So yeah. This is where Obito is beyond pissed. He is furious. Now, of course, this is where Itachi is also furious to see the man who killed his brother. Because he doesn't know what happened to the Leaf Village. But the only thing he knows is that, the Leaf Village is in total chaos. Well, not even in total chaos. Is gone. And the man that was responsible for this was Zaraki Kenpachi. This is where, Naruto smiles, grabs Kahara, and kind of walks away. He didn't even pay attention towards, the Akazis. This is where, Madara is pissed. This is where he kind of tells, Pain, after they kind of discontinue off the little thing and all that. And this is where Pain says, "So what do we do, Madara? We go and attack, the water country, Mist Village. Right now, because they have 3 Jinchurikis. The 3 tails, the 6 tails, and the 9 tails. We attack now. We might be able to take out, Zaraki Kenpachi." This is where Pain says, "I see. So do we get the forces? We get Kisame back. We get Itachi. And we get the remaining members for the Akazis to fully attack the water country." Naruto brings back Gaara, but yeah, we go back into Gaara. And of course, this is where, Gaara wakes up because he didn't get taken much of the, what's called, tail beast, but yeah. Of course, this is where, with Gaara kind of coming back, this is where, we're not coming back, even though he just woke up, and this is where Gaara was very thankful to Naruto, but still scared of him, but yeah. And now more scared, the fact that he is, Naruto's 10 times taller than him. So yeah, he's terrified. But of course, not like really 10 times taller, but yeah. Of course, Naruto, he says, "Good, now we're going back to water country. So yeah, good luck in your, alliance trade with Mei." This is where Gaara nodded and decides to work on that. This is where, Temari is very thankful for her brother being back, but yeah. And thanks Naruto. Of course, this is where, Temari kind of flusts her up when she's kind of near Naruto, but yeah. Telling him that Temari always had a crush on him, but yeah. An accident slipped that out. This is where Naruto also says, "But I don't know if you will be interested by my daughter. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't really return the feelings back to you." This is where Temari says, "Oh, you have a daughter already? She's not really my actual daughter, but she is my adopted daughter, so that's why." This is where Temari says, "That's fine. That's fine." This is where Naruto says, "Thank you then." This is where Naruto walks back towards the team and does get out of Sand Country to get to Mist Country. Now, of course, is where, they get towards the not Mist Country, mostly the Mist Village, but yeah. Of course, is where, they get there, and of course, they kind of relax for a couple of days until a week passes, and this is where they all hear, not Universal, Almighty Push, or Shinrai Tensai, so of course they hear Shinrai Tensai, and of course the village gets exploded with power. This is where, Pain is here with his 6 path of pain. Itachi, Kisame, and even Madara is here, but with someone extra and multiple other people with them. This is where White Zetsu appeared, but also someone that looks like a snake appears and having glasses. This is Kabuto with the reanimations. This is where, Naruto, who gets out there, sees the White Zetsus, and right now he's cutting them down so easily. Kind of grabbing from the head and crushing their head. This is where, the 7 swordsmen are right now just attacking. And of course, this is where, what's Kanahira? Zabuza is right now cutting down White Zetsus, protecting Mei, and Mei does see, the Akazis. This is where she realized that the Akatsuki's there to attack this village. This is where, well, Enma is right now fighting against Kisame. Kisame is smiling, saying, I guess I'll be fighting with the Knights of Shinjuku. Enma smiles and says, it seems that way. Then let's see who's stronger. Fish brains. This is where Kisame smirked and says, then bring it on, you brat. He swings Samahara. Enma swings Enma, the King of Hellblade. And of course they collide. This is where Samahara is struggling and burning, actually. This is where Samahara is kind of just trying to squirm out of the grasp of, Kisame. Kisame can see that these flames are not made out of chakra. So, of course, he tries to jump away. And this is where Enma, sees that, Kisame is trying to run away. Kisame says, that blade isn't made with chakra. It seems to be more deadlier than I thought. This is where Esop appeared behind him and says, Ice style, ice cutting blade. This is where she stabbed him in the back. This is where his back was being frozen. This is where he turns around and tries to hit her with Samahara, managing to actually cut her. This is where Esther kind of gets cut and gets pushed back and smashed into a wall. This is where Enma says, no, Esther. This is where Enma is pissed. His eyes become darker. And this is where, Kisame says, oh, whatever. I don't care about her. I care about you, Nice Jerky. This is where Enma says, no one touches her. This is where he explodes into nothing but purple flames. This is where, Kisame manages to jump back and says, what the hell is happening? This is where, Enma comes out of the purple flames, wearing this kind of, black armor. This black armor all around his body. This is where horns kind of protrude from his head. They kind of, it looks like horns. This is where wings are behind Enma. Kind of these kind of like purplish, kind of black wings, but they have purple flames on the bottom. There's 4 in total, actually. This is where, Enma seems to have this kind of dark armor. This dark armor, but has a little bit of dark purple on. This is where flame purple. His eyes are right now glowing to nothing but purple flames. This is where his sword changed. His sword is still, has a purple handle on it, but the blade is nothing but just a black blade. And of course, this is where Enma roaring out in anger. This is where, Kisame says, oh, whatever. Even if you got a new form, that won't help. This is where he swings Samahara towards, Enma, but Enma blocks it with his just arm. Just plainly arm that had armor. And of course, this is where Samahara tried to swarm around from Samahara. Samahara is trying to swarm around from Kisame. That's where Kisame is saying, what's wrong, Samahara? This is where, Samahara was grabbed upon by Enma. This is where Enma says, you're truly trying to piss off the wrong person. This is where he explodes with energy power around him. This is where, he kind of did talk to Kurama. And of course, he found out how to get rid of the cage. But yeah. And of course, this is where, he exploded into a KCM. This is supposed to be KCM 2, actually, instead of being just KCM 1. KCM 1 kind of just looked like a purple color because he kind of used it before. So we're going to a flashback. Estef was about to get hit, and of course he wasn't fast enough in the what's called Sound Village. But of course he transformed into KCM after the mind. He went into his mindscape. Makarama takes off the ceiling tag. The ceiling tag was already kind of taken on it. But of course, this is where it was already shattered on it. But of course, this is where Kurama says, I will help you. Because, I actually like being inside you. And, I want to keep her alive because that would make you happy. And let's just kill everyone here. Every pathetic weakling that hurt my sister. This is where, Enma nodded. And of course, he did explode into, purplish power. And of course, he was in KCM at that time in kind of destroying Sound Village. And of course, he blitzes so many people that were trying to attack, Estef. This is where he kind of used Enma at the same time while blitzing them. But yeah. This is where this armor kind of turned into a lightish purple, but of course, it's still dark purple. But of course, this is where, Enma says, let's see if he can survive this. That's where his flaming eyes are right now with burning with purple. Also, there's a purplish like crown. Well, not purplish, like this reddish kind of crown appearing on his head. No, not red. I'm gonna say purple. Yeah, purple, but with black flames around it. Well, not black flames. It has black and purple flames on top of this crown that looks like, and of course, it's just floating on top of his head. But of course, this is where Enma's eyes appear to have slits now. But of course, instead of being like a kind of normal like slick, like a normal slick, it turned into a black slick, like a black flame slick. This is where he appears right in front of Kisame, grabbing Samahara and burning it in an instant with black and purple flames. This is where Kisame winded his eyes. Samahara was burnt into nothing. And this is where Enma swings his blade so fast it cuts Kisame in half. This is where Kisame says, it seems that you miss. Well, I'm going to kill. This is where when he turns around, his whole body explodes into nothing but flames. This is where Enma says, never touch her again, you fish brain. This is where, well, Kisame is dead. But this is where Naruto, he's walking around and he sees Itachi. Itachi says, you are the one to kill my brother. This is where he says, Tsukiyomi. This is where Naruto gets into the Tsukiyomi and sees that he's in the Tsukiyomi war. And this is where he kind of smiles. Of course, this is where Itachi says, I will make you suffer for more than 72 hours. That's where Naruto says, I see. Then I'll have to get my freaking eye patch out. So he grabs the eye patch and rips it off in, well, this world another. Of course, this is where his power exploded from his body. This is where it exploded the Tsukiyomi and broke out of the Tsukiyomi. Itachi's eyes got hurt. But this is where Naruto grabs Itachi from the head and says, you're dead for. This is where Itachi says, Amaterasu, hits Naruto, but Naruto cracked his head, kind of breaking it. This is where, well, Naruto's being burnt, but right now he doesn't care. He's walking away so easily. He finds Enma and says, hey Enma. This is where Enma turns around and sees black flames on Naruto. And this is where he kind of just swing his hand away, while kind of just swing it towards Kenpachi. And of course the black flames are just disappear. This is where Naruto says, thanks Enma. This is where Enma nodded. Right now in this form, this is where he says, I'm going to kill anyone that touches her. That's where Kenpachi says, exactly the same. I gotta protect Yoruichi and Junko and Hakin. Besides, if I don't protect Hakin, well, Zabuza's going to kill me. And you know that bastard always annoys me. Fucking old man. This is where, well, Mei is right now attacking the Six Paths of Pain. This is where she's easily getting defeated. This is where, well, Zabuza is also kind of there, kind of fighting against, well, the Six Paths of Pain with his other 7 swordsmen. That's where the Six Paths of Pain, well, mostly the Deeper Path says, Shindai Tensai, blast him away. This is where he says, where is Zaraki Kenpachi? Where's the, what's it called, Nine Tails? This is where, well, Mei says, I will never tell. This is where power exploded, well, not exploded. 2 people appear right in front of Mei. This is where it's, Kenpachi instill his kind of just raw power kind of exploding in front of him. And this is, well, next to him is his brother Enma, who is right now in his KCM2. And this is where, the Six Paths of Pain says, I see, so you're the Nine Tails and Zaraki Kenpachi. This is where, well, Kenpachi says, of course, and I'm here to defeat you bastards. Now we go into another side of the village. This is where the reanimations and Kabuto's kind of attacking. This is where Yoruichi sees Hidan, and Hidan is kind of reanimated. And of course, this is where Hidan says, die! And tries to kill Yoruichi, but this is where Yoruichi pulls out her sword. And of course, this is where she says, piercing slice. Or, not piercing slice. She makes a kind of technique that's kind of used with her Rialto, and says, piercing erase. This is where she managed to pierce, well, Hidan, erasing him, even if he wasn't reanimated. This is where Kabuto widens his eyes and then says, that bitch will be annoying. This is where Junko appears, smashing down upon some of the reanimations and crushing their heads. This is where Junko is kind of using the despair around her. because, well, that's her kind of special ability. She can actually use the despair, emotions, and all that around, well, even from her allies, from enemies. This is where she becomes stronger, and this is where her hair becomes darker, but also becomes kind of a red glow, but also her eyes become like dark, like very shiny red color. This is where she's smiling and easily destroying these reanimations. Of course, they're gonna have to re-heal, but of course they're being sealed away by some Uzumakis that Naruto and, well, Enma decides to bring back. So yeah, bring towards the Mist Village. And of course, this is where, well, Kabuto's winding her eyes and he's like, damn it. This is where Haku and Hakin is using ice style from the sky by kind of making it rain. Because, well, yeah, someone makes it rain, like multiple ninjas started making it rain. And this is where Hakin decides to control the weather by kind of like changing the water drops into nothing but ice and then like throwing it all the way down to the reanimation. Them getting cut multiple times and having to take time and heal. So, of course, they are being healed. This is where Kabuto is thinking that he might have to go to plan B. Because, yes, he was told by Obito that if necessary, he might have to go to plan B and summon out Madara. Well, bring back Madara. This is where Kabuto is thinking that he might have to do that. This is where the only problem is the Madara reanimation is kind of next. Well, he can summon it, but the only reanimation that he has is with Obito. And Obito is kind of right now on the roof, kind of watching Kenpachi and, well, what's it called? Kenpachi and, what's it called? Enma. This is where, well, he's thinking he might have to bring him out. Madara. This is where, what's it called? We go into the battle between Naruto and Enma versus the Sixth Path of Pain. This is where the Sixth Path of Pain rushes towards Enma and Kenpachi. And this is where Naruto pulls out his blade and slashes through almost all of them. Pretty easily. Even with their Renegons to try to keep up with the speed, both Naruto and Enma's, well, speed kind of surpasses the Renegon. So of course, they slash through it and even kill the Diva Pack pretty easily. This is where they say it's pathetic. This is where Obito is angry. His plans are being ruined. This is where Naruto says, hey Enma, can you feel that power? This is where Enma says, yeah, I can see that's all the way up there. This is where Obito says, I now have to take those Renegon's eyes from him. Well, it's time. This is where he combo eats and goes straight towards, well, Nagato is right now coughing up blood because he tried to keep track and kind of had to restrain his eyes not restrain. Once he just kind of stripped out his eyes because he tried to keep up with the speed. But of course, he can see that both of them are very fast. This is where, well, Nagato says, Mother, what do we... He gets his eyes ripped out, both of them out. Well, not both of them, just one of them. But this is where Konan threw a purple shuriken. And this is where Obito says, you're gonna have to give me the other eye. What's it called? Nagato? I'm gonna have to take them for myself. So Nagato says, I knew you were a traitor. This is where he says, oh mighty. This is where, before anything happens, Naruto appears. Naruto comes straight down with his, what's it called, butcher knife. And slices straight towards, like, he swings swings his sword down. And of course, it cuts the tree in half. It also hits both Konan and Nagato before Konan can turn into paper. Obito managed to escape with Kamui, but this is where Nagato and Konan were obliterated. This is where, well, Obito went in his eyes. The other Renegon, no! This is where he's angry. He's pissed. He's beyond pissed fighting against Zaraki and Kenpachi. He never thought this person will get in his way so many damn times. This is where, well, Obito says, hey Kabuto, if you're hearing me now, you better do that reanimation. This is where Kabuto says, I'm already way ahead of you. This is where, boom, something happens. A coffin appeared right in front of, well, Enma, and of course this is where it exploded. Because there was a reanimation there in front of Enma. This is where Madara comes back, and Madara says, where am I? This is where, well, Yeah, not Kabuto kind of says, not Kabuto, Kabuto says that I reanimated you into this world to help it out, take out the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. This is where, well, Madara looks in front of him and sees the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He says, is that the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki? Yes, that is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Madara says, then I guess I'll be fighting against him. This is where Madara rushes towards, Enma started trying to punch him and kind of using his Sharingan to kind of put a Genjutsu on Enma. And it doesn't work. This is where Enma kicks him in the face. Madara was sent into multiple buildings. This is where Kabuto widened his eyes. Not even Madara will be able to defeat this demon. This is where, Kenpachi says, hey, Enma, do you want to go against that other guy? You know, I can feel that chakra. You want to go after him because you are the one who can sense him. Mine, well, how should I say? I can sense him also, but you know I'm not that great in chakra sensing. But you are. Enma nods and says, I'll go for it. This is where Estef was actually healed by some ninjas from Mist. And of course, this is where Estef comes back. And this is where she kind of goes towards Yoruichi and Junko and even, Hakin's site. This is where Haku is protecting Hakin because Hakin got tired after using that many times. And this is where, well, she sees so many reanimations and white Zetsus. This is where Junko and, well, Yoruichi are kind of getting overpowered. This is where Estef says, I will not show that I'm weak. Even though that bastard hurted me. I saw that anger, that power from Enma. I will protect him. I will protect the village. I will show everyone that I'm strong, Kunoichi. This is where, well, her eyes exploded with this icy blue color. This is where she kind of holds her sword tightly. And of course, it exploded with brightly blue icy power. This is where around her body, she just exploded with so much power, changing her outfit into somewhat like an ice dress. And of course, this is where her hair becomes kind of highlighted with white. Yeah, not highlighted with white, fully white. And of course, this is where her eyes becomes, well, a kind of frozen white. Well, what's called slick white. But of course, around her eyes, instead of being just fully white, it's what's called just this blue color. It's where her face started becoming like a little bit frozen. And of course, this is where an ice crown appears on her head. This is where, well, not just that, wings appear from her back. This is where there are actually angel wings. This is where she sighs. She like breathes in and out. When she breathes out, ice breath kind of appear. This is where, well, she sees her sword kind of already fall. And this is where she kind of hears a kind of voice in her mind. And this is where she goes into her mind already. She already went into her mind. And this is where, well, she met a dragon, an ice dragon from the sword when she awoken in it from it. This power was from the ice dragon, but not just the ice dragon. The angel wings are actually, well, not angel wings, ice dragon wings are from this dragon. This is where Esther says, I'll protect this village, this country. I'll protect Emma's home and his brother. I'll protect everyone. This is where she appears right in front of the white Zetsus and, well, the reanimations. And she just swings her blade once and freezes all the reanimations and Zetsus. Just once. Just kind of saying, ice style. Frozen wasteland. This is where she swings her sword, and of course, that's what happened. This is where, well, everything went frozen. This is where Hakin widened her eyes. Even though she's able to kind of do that, it takes way too much toll on her body. But of course, she just sees Esther does it so easily. This is where, well, I should also mention one thing. Hakin's hair is fully kind of like a, what's it called, crystallized blue. And her eyes were pulsating so much. Because her kind of like blue eyes and that kind of like snowflake, that snowflake became white. But of course, she didn't have enough power yet. But this is where Enma managed to freeze all of them. And of course, this is where the reanimations were actually stopped. Of course, they just sealed them for good measurements. And this is where Kabuto widened his eyes, seeing that his reanimations and Zetsus were destroyed. This is where he turns around and sees someone slowly walking to him. It's Enma. Enma says, it seems that SF managed to freeze your army. Now it's time for the user of the army to die. This is where Kabuto says, I'm perfect. You will never defeat me. He rushes towards Enma, and Enma rushes towards him. But we'll go into Madara versus Kenpachi. Kenpachi and Madara are right now fighting, throwing blows left and right. This is where Madara did activate the Rinnegan, and kind of did throw what's called a meteor from the sky. But then the two meteors, they get blasted. And of course, this is where, Kenpachi is slashing at Madara. Madara is in his Susanoo, but this is where, Kenpachi didn't care. He started punching the Susanoo. The Susanoo had a crack right in front of Madara. Madara widened his eyes, seeing that the Susanoo can easily break from the punches of, Kenpachi. This is where, Madara swings his sword down, from the Susanoo, hitting, Naruto. This is where Naruto gets slashed. This is where Kenpachi gets angrier more, and thus puts more spiritual power, like energy, into his fist, and punches the Susanoo, breaking through it. This is where grabbing Madara and smashing him down to the fucking ground. This is where Madara gets angry and does just become perfect Susanoo. This is where Madara says, "You will lose, and no one will ever care about you, bastard. This world will be in the perfect Tsukiyomi. You will not stop me." This is where Naruto, he wants his, daughter Yorichi to be happy and everything. He doesn't care about a dream or anything. And this is where he says, I won't let you do anything like that. This is where he goes into the demonic form again. His eyes become fully orange, and this is where his skin becomes red. And his sword does become much stronger, because he wasn't Bankai, but it became way stronger. And this is where, Madara says, then die, you bastard, if you don't want to go into the Tsukiyomi. He tries to crush, Kenpachi under his feet. And this is where, Kenpachi jumps up so high up in the air. This is where, when he's falling back down, he punches the head of the Susanoo, breaking through and punching Madara in the stomach. This is where Madara coughed up blood. Well, not coughed up blood. He kind of just, the fist did go through him. And this is where he said, you realize I'm still reanimation. This is where the reanimation jutsu is starting to get canceled. And this is where he widened his eyes. Did the user already die? This is where he kind of, this is where Obito appears and kind of in his Kamui and get into the Susanoo and says, here. This is where he pulls out the Rinnegan and gives it to Madara and says, where's the other one? I couldn't grab it. This is where he says, no matter. He puts it on, and this is where he says, Renny Rebirth. He comes back to life and says, I'm back in the flesh. This is where the Susanoo is dissipating, but of course, this is where, Madara says, I will now win and bring this war to Tsukiyomi, no matter what. This is where, Obito says, and I will do the same. This is where Obito, still in his orange mask, but yeah. This is where, Naruto falls down to the ground. Well, he was already in the ground, but Madara didn't know where he went. And this is where Naruto appeared, uppercutting Madara in the chin, knowing that he's no longer in reanimation, sending his ass straight up in the air. This is where he goes up in the air. This is where Obito widens his eyes. This is where Obito tries to fight against Naruto. But this is where he knows that it's kind of useless. So we go back into Kabuto and what happened. Kabuto got killed. He got slashed down. With Enma's speed, he can actually, bring people from the dead to actually help him. This people from the dead, they actually have black flames in their eyes to actually show that they're dead. And of course, this is where they fight against Kabuto reanimations. And this is where, Enma did use his sword. And this is where he says, dark flaming sword. This is where he says, King of Hell. Flaming cutting style. This is where, well, he says purple flames cutting style. Apocalypse. Well, not apocalypse. He says, this is where he says divine piercing. This is where he pierces Kabuto. His whole body exploded with flames, and also behind him exploded with nothing but flames, like a giant pierce slash appeared. This is where, well, Kabuto widened his eyes and sees that he's going to die, and says, "I guess I wasn't perfect." Huh. He dies. But yeah, this is where, well, Enma does see the soul of Kabuto, grabbed it, and kind of sent it straight back to the underworld. This is where, not back to the underworld. This is where, well, Menma does grab the soul of Kabuto and kind of just absorbs it, taking all the knowledge. Not puts it in the underworld, but yeah, takes all the knowledge. This is where, well, he does decide to stop the, well, not stop it himself. He just killed the user of the reanimation, but yeah. This is where, well, Enma says, well, it's time to go help, well, I guess I'll go help, Kenpachi. Before he can even walk further, his whole body felt tension up, and this is where, well, he passed out. This is where, well, he used way too much power in KCM to just give him a lot of power. It does give him a huge toll on his body. This is where, well, we go into Naruto versus Madara. This is where Madara is right now in his perfect Sanugen to try to take out, well, Naruto. He even did use wood style and wood a golem, but Naruto just breaks through it, just smashes through the head and killing them all. Just destroying all the jutsus. This is where Naruto, he's not in berserk state in his demonic form, but yeah. He's not in the demonic form anymore, not in the berserk state. And of course, he is punching through the perfect Susanoo, punching Madara down to the ground. Madara tries to fight against, well, Madara. Even used almighty push to push Naruto away. But Naruto keeps running through. And this is where he swings his blade straight to Madara, cutting him down, killing him. This is where Madara realized that he will not be able to defeat this being. This is where Madara smiles anyway. This battle was amazing. It's where he says, "It seems I'm dead. It seems that you're strong, and your power might be able to change this world. And I know you won't be able to succeed in my dream goal, so I guess you can go. Live whatever." He dies. So, well, Madara did have the speed, but not that much fast speed. He couldn't get away from Naruto's raw power. That's where Obito says, "No! Damn it! Tsukiyomi, I can't do it." This is where Naruto did obliterate Madara's body. And this is where Naruto appears right in front of, well, Obito. Obito says, "You can't hurt me. No one can." This is where, well, his Kamui is right now, well, he's intangible and all that. And this is where, well, Naruto swings his blade just once. And this is where, well, he lets go of his blade after it. And this is where, well, Obito turns around because he wanted to kick Naruto in the head with, well, not kick Naruto, to stab Naruto in the head with the kunai. Naruto grabs the kunai, grabs Obito from the arm, and like just slams his punch into Obito's heart, exploding his inner guts, just exploding his heart and his guts inside. This is where Obito goes. He's dying slowly. This is where he just not passes out. He dies. This is where Naruto says pathetic. This is where Naruto, he gets out of the form, and this is where he passes out. Now, we go into a couple of years later. This is where, well, not a couple of years, we go into kind of 11 years later. Naruto is now 28. He's now 28, and of course, Yoruichi, she's kind of like, did I say 26? I don't know. She's kind of old now. But of course, she still sees Naruto as a father and all that. But of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he is just 28 and he has now children of his own. With, well, Hakin, Junko, and even kind of Tomari. This is where he only has one child with Tomari, but yeah. Of course, they are all the same kind of a mindset like Naruto because, well, they all kind of just similar like Naruto, but yeah. Some of their eyes being green, some of their hair kind of being black highlights, but yeah. Of course, they all have very strong spiritual power. But yeah. This is where Enma did have a child with Estef, and of course their child has both, two different colors of hair. One is a lightish blue, and of course highlights of purple. But of course he has purple eyes. Well, not purple eyes. One purple eye, one light blue eye. Of course, he is able to use both Enma and the Ice Dragon Sword. That's what it's called. And of course, this is where, he can use both purple flames and ice, but yeah. This is where, he is kind of the nephew of all the other children who actually with Naruto, but yeah. He's actually, the oldest nephew, but yeah. This is where, Naruto's children are still young, but yeah. Of course, this is where, with Tomari, or whatever the hell his name, the other Uchizuki that was in the moon, got legit obliterated. Reason why is because Naruto obliterated him pretty easily. Well, not Naruto, Emma did, mostly. Because, he did try to get Hinata, and just realized that all the Hyugas are dead. Hinata is not dead. She was in Kumo. Of course, tried to take it from Kumo. But of course, Emma did kind of stop him by kind of summoning 4 people from the undead. The 4 apocalypse knights that actually cut down Tomorrow pretty easily. And kind of brought Hinata back as a slave in what's it called, Kumo, because that's what she is. But yeah. Of course, this is where, Hinata was mostly a slave in Kumo to kind of bring out more children that has to be Byakugan in Kumo, because yeah, they wanted the Byakugan in the first place. They did take Hinata during the kind of rush art, or not rush art, mostly the kind of war between, the other villages and the Leaf Village, and yeah. So yeah. Of course, this is where, Enma's, what's it called, not Emma, what's it called, Shino did have a kid. He did have a kid with, Fu. Their kid is able to transform his body into a bug, but of course, he can transform his body into any type of bug that he wishes to be. He can become a tarantula, spider, whatever. What's it called? A mantis plant, whatever. The fucking green one, or whatever. A praying mantis or whatever. He can transform to anything. He can also control bugs, but yeah. So where, other than that, it seems. Also, Naruto didn't become the Mizukage. He did not care about that title. But yeah, he became actually one of the strongest people in the whole entire 5 nations. Or should I say 4 nations, because yes, the sound and waterfall are already dead, but yeah. And the Leaf Village is destroyed a long time ago. So of course, he is actually considered to be the strongest person in the 4 great nations. The strongest out of everyone. But yeah. But other than that, this is the end of this what if. Yes, this is the end of this what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Zaraki Kenpachi and was neglected. Part 7. Yes, this is 1 hour and 33 minutes. But so yeah, So yeah, this is the end. So of course, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato day, potato, and potato. So yeah, good night and bye. Bye bye.